Okay, right now on this build I will be starting with the landing gear, the main gear. I will be showing how to do the tail section next. It's a pretty simple install. It's just 4 bolts and 4 nuts, and basically you just line up the landing gear so that the sweep is forward, looking at the plane, and you line it up. Take the 4 bolts, insert them, screw them on, and that's it. I'll be showing you how to do that real quick. Okay, with the landing gear lined up and it's swept forward, I'm going to take the bolt, insert it into the hole. The holes are lined up. Alright, once it's inserted in there, I can take the nut and my needle nose pliers. I can use my hand, there's a big enough space to fit in there, but I just choose to use the needle nose pliers here, and hex wrench. I get it lined up on top there. Get the thread started. There it goes. Keep the needle nose pliers on it to retain tension on the nut. Alright. And just tighten down. Alright. And I've done the front one. I've done a front one and a back one. The front ones on here are a tad bit more difficult to do because of the wood here blocking, so I can't get my big needle nose pliers in, so I would have to go to my small ones because they can fit up in there and I can get a grip on whatever nut is in there and tighten down from the other side with the hex wrench. And that's how you would do the front ones. And you would do all 4 the same once they're all on there and snug. Basically the landing gear is done as far as that goes. Okay, I took the liberty of installing all 4 landing gear bolts there. No Loctite needed again on those. They have lock nuts on them. Snug them down. That's done. And now we're going to move on to the landing gear, the main landing gear axles here. As you can see, there are 3 holes pre-drilled. The big hole for the main gear axles, and the 2 smaller ones are to secure the wheel pants on there. The axles can go right on right away. There's no need to fiddle with the wheel pans now because everything's pre-cut, pre-drilled, and as you can see there's blind nuts on the back side, so all that's done, and it just slips over the axle. So basically you can set those aside until the end of the build. You don't want to put them on now because they can get damaged while you're moving the plane around. So it's, you know, pretty simple to put these axles on. You just slide them through, put the nut on the other end here, secure it. No Loctite needed because it is a lock nut. Tighten it down. Do the same for the other side, and that's pretty much it. Okay, now I'm going to install the tail landing gear. There's 3 holes here, and there's a hard point on the tail. I'm going to line this up laterally. There's a little, you can move it forward or back a little bit. I like to line mine up so that the 3 holes are pretty much centered on that hard point. Some people like to bring out the rulers, but I'm pretty good at eyeballing it. You want to get it straight on with the plane here, and once you get it where you like it, and everything looks fine. I just take my fine screwdriver here. It's pretty much been dremelled out so that it has a nice little point on it, and I like to dig it into where the 3 holes are. Let's get that straight. You will see later in the video that yeah, it doesn't, you have wiggle room to slide it forward and aft because of the way the tail wheel assembly actually goes together and is actuated by the rudder. So once that's done, you can see my 3 pilot holes here, and I take my 1.5 millimeter drill bit and I pretty much drill them out. Once that's done, I have my 3 pilot holes started. I can take the Phillips head screws that come supplied with the kits, insert them in there, get it started. Take my Phillips screwdriver. You can dig it on in there. Once dug in, I like to take them out, and on this, it's pretty hard, but I still like to use some thin CA on them. So I'll take them out, and they go in there pretty simple. You'll do the same. You'll do the same for all 3. I'll pretty much drizzle a little thin CA on there, put all 3 in, and basically that'll be the tail gear assembly there. Okay, 3 screws are in. Now we're going to move on to the assembly. You're going to take this hollowed out screw here. That's going to go on first. This is with the plane inverted. Then I'm going to take my lock nut. It goes on. I'm not going to tighten everything down. I'm just going to show it all to you here. Then you're going to take the landing gear, the wheel holder here, and a wheel collar, and it slips on. There's a 1.5 millimeter grub screw in there, so you don't want to lose that, and it's inserted into it. And then you're going to take this thingamajig here, and you want to make sure, if you look here, there's a flat spot on this landing gear. When the landing gear is facing the right direction, the flat spot is facing me. And then there's a grub screw here, and it's going to pretty much line up to where, let's loosen up a little bit here. Once on there, it's going to butt up against that flat spot when you tighten it down, so that the landing gear, and there's a hole right above that or below it with the plane inverted, that the control rod inserts into, and that's what actuates the steering when the rudder's on there. So I'm going to go ahead and assemble all this and then come back. And if you want, you can go ahead and put the wheel on. You just put the 1 wheel collar on first. You bring it to the edge, tighten it down, slide the wheel on, and on the outside, another wheel collar, and you tighten it down. Okay, main landing gear is installed, tail landing gear is installed with the wheel. I won't install the main landing gear wheels yet because I don't want to roll around on the workbench. I also will show you how to install the wheel pans when installing the wheels later on. Alright, next segment, I guess I'll go to installing the rudder and finishing off the tail landing gears assembly, the assembly for the tail landing gear, and moving into the rudder servo and the pull. Alright.